What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Broads. There is nothing better than seeing the Dallas Cowboys lose in the playoffs. You know what I'm talking about. Jason Garrett over there on the sidelines with that face where you just want to punch it, and he's all pissed off after a loss. It's just great to see. So we had two games today on the market, and let's discuss both of them. The first game I will talk about, the Rams, and they go out there at home. By the way, pathetic fan base out of them to be at home in the playoffs and have, 75% Dallas Cowboys fans. And it's not just because it's the Cowboys. You see that every single time there is a game out there at that field. It's just a joke, and it's just a disgrace to the Rams. It really, you're talking about the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You're talking playoff football, and you have the other team's fans coming into your barn and booing your own players. It's a disgrace. But anyway, they get the job done, Sean McVay, and I will criticize Sean McVay as we get through this. But first, let's talk about what the Rams did. Defensively, they shut down Zeke. They shut down that entire team. When you look at the rushing yards for the Cowboys, 50 total, and Zeke had 47. That's the game plan. Shut down Zeke and make Dak beat you. And clearly, they made the job work. That's exactly what happened. Offensively for the Rams, the run game was unbelievable against that fantastic defense that the Cowboys had. C.J. Anderson had 123 yards, Gurley 115, and combined they had 3 touchdowns. They were just unstoppable, and seriously, when you talk about that defense, that's not easy to do, not at all. 459 total yards for the Rams offensively. The Cowboys were 1-10 on third downs. That's not going to win you football games. You got to convert and keep the sticks moving. You got to move the chains, and they did not do that on third down. We've seen the Dallas Cowboys be effective this year, and what do? They hold on to the football, they drag it out, and they just keep time of possession in their favor. That did not happen tonight. The Rams established that game plan early, 36 minutes and 13 seconds with the football, and they ran 76 plays to the Dallas Cowboys 55. That's the difference maker. They held on to the ball. Now, this is when the criticism of Sean McVay comes in for me. There were times he was soft as baby shit on fourth down. I'm telling you, maybe it's just because Doug Peterson has injected the big balls in my life, but Sean McVay was a joke at times. He got the job done, listen, he got the job done and he won. But fourth and inside the 10-yard line, you're kicking field goals? I hate that decision. You got to trust your team. Now, he did late in this game to go up 15. He finally pulled the trigger to be ballsy, 4th and 1, and he runs it up the gut with C.J. Anderson. So when he needed to make that play, he did make it. And Jason Garrett on a ballsy 4th and 1 late went for it, and that kind of turned the tables. But it was the right call. You're telling me 4th and 1, playoffs on the line, you give the ball to Zeke to get a first down. I live and die with that play all day long out of Jason Garrett. It just didn't work out. But Sean McVay was a little soft to me today. I really despise it. It could have been way more of a blowout than it was. The Cowboys, they battled, even though they came up short. They did battle to the end. But at the end of the day, as an Eagles fan, I sit here and say, hallelujah. I don't have to hear about anything Dallas related. They don't make it to the NFC Championship game, which is great to see. And they just come up short. They won one playoff game. Congratulations. What's that mean? Nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. But it was a very entertaining game. And you know, the Rams move on. The Rams move on. In the beginning of the year, I remember making videos about this Rams defense. And I'll be honest with you, the Rams defense is nothing special. It's the offense that really is getting this team going, which is crazy because Aqib Talib's out there making stupid pass interference calls late in the game, which costed them. You have Marcus Peters throwing punches at Amari Cooper in this game. He was stupid. These big-time cornerbacks that they paid this money to come in, they're just playing stupid and could have hurt this football team today. It is what it is, though, as the Rams move on to the NFC Championship to hopefully play the Birds tomorrow. We'll get into that later. I'm going to have an anxiety attack watching that bad boy. So let's move on to the second game, which was actually the first game today. And it was the Chiefs just handling business at home. Andy Reid, they get the job done. They're in the AFC Championship game. and they dominated. That's just what they did. In their home building, it was electric in there. You even had snowballs getting thrown at the kickers of the Colts, and everyone remembers the Eagles fans throwing snowballs. No one's ever going to mention this one, though. It's always the asshole Philadelphia fans that get remembered. All I'm saying is they were throwing snowballs at the Colts kickers. Andy Reid's big red face was getting involved. Other teams do it too. But the national media never wants to say that. We're always the bad guys here in Philadelphia. Pat Mahomes today was a stud. It was awesome to see him make it happen. You know, young quarterback. He had an amazing regular season. He gets an opportunity here in playoffs, and he does just that. He was making sidearm throws. It kind of looked like Nick Foles off that clutch 4th and 1, the Golden Tate, but that's not here or there. Stop it. But Pat Mahomes was electric today, and 433 yards total for the Chiefs. The Colts moving forward, listen, you're a 6 seed going up against that type of offense. Did I think they had a chance to maybe make it a little closer? Yeah, I did. I did, but they don't have the same talent. You look at their defense, they got a good start with the D. They need some more pieces, though, maybe a better pass rush and some help on the outsides. But they're building in the right direction with Frank Reich and Andrew Luck. See, when you look at the score and say, oh, they scored 13 points, one of them was on a blocked punt. So their offense did struggle as well today. And you're talking about a Chiefs D, which we've been saying for quite some time now that they're really not that special. They handled the run, though. Matt couldn't get going. They handled the Colts offense, and Frank Reich got stunned a little bit. But if you look at the Colts moving forward, they are in a good place. Now, what do you see when the Chiefs moving forward? That's the real question. They have the woes. The Chiefs were never able to get it done. Now they're hosting. That's right, they're hosting an AFC championship game, either against the Chargers or the Patriots, and we will find out tomorrow afternoon. But if the Eagles are no longer involved, and we'll worry about that later, I would definitely be rooting for Big Red, because you look at what he's done throughout the years in his tenure in the NFL. He is a coach that is top-notch, top-tier, elite. And he deserves to get a championship. He does, and this is the type of team that can do it. It just comes down to, is the defense going to be able to hold the other teams to respectful numbers throughout? Because there's going to be more explosive offenses than just the Colts. You could potentially see the Chargers and Phillip Rivers and that defense. You could potentially see Tom Brady. All right? It's not going to be that simple. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all goes. But they just went out there and they did it. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even relatively a football game. At home, in that stadium, the Chiefs just handled business. And I'm excited to see what Pat Mahomes and this offense and Andy Reid does moving forward, because it's going to be very entertaining. So what do I say? My final thoughts, Broads' final thoughts here on the 2 football games today in the divisional round. It was high quality. I didn't expect much out of the Chiefs-Colts game, but it was high quality. It was fun to see Pat Mahomes go. The guy's electric, MVP of the year, what he did with the amount of the touchdowns thrown and just the yards that they are able to produce and the plays downfield. And how about the running game? The running game that was no longer going to be here because of the Kareem Hunt situation. That team just continues to plug and keep going. And I want to see it happen for Andy Reid if the Eagles are no longer available to do so. And the Rams-Cowboys game, I hate the Cowboys. We all know it. Everyone hates the Cowboys unless you're a Cowboys fan. They're just annoying. They won themselves 1 playoff game this year. Kudos to them. But they couldn't get the job done here. And sure, they battled. But the Rams, when you look at the style of play that they had today to win the football game, they dominated and executed the game plan to perfection. They wanted to keep the ball. They wanted to use what Dallas does against them. Time management. 36 minutes to the 23. Yeah, it's just, they dominated, and they should have cashed in more when they were in the red zone. Sean McVay pulled up a little soft, in my opinion, but at the end of the day, they win by 8, and they're moving on to host. Well, they maybe not host. If the Eagles win, they host, which would be awesome because that place would be filled with green. It would be filled with Eagles fans. But a Saints-Rams game in New Orleans would also be outstanding as just a fan. So I don't want to see that, though. I want to see the Eagles. So let me know what you think down below. I had fun watching the Cowboys lose. Did you? Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Let's go Birds, baby. Tomorrow's a big day for me.